Congratulations on the film.
Thanks.
I remember as a kid going to see The Last Crusade. It was one of my very first cinematic experiences, and it just like blew my head off. It was so amazing. So I wondered, when you were a kid, what were your kind of first cinema experiences, and what was the film that kind of...
Well, yeah, Raiders. Raiders was the one that changed everything. I mean, I watched a lot of films, and I loved going and watch Bruce Lee and watch Buster Keaton. But Raiders was like, as a film, it was just, as you said, mind-blowing. Those first 12 minutes of it's film history. You're introducing a character that we like already, a genre, a universe, and everything is just wrapped so perfectly, and the music. And so that was the one that I think defined our generation.
Can you now see that being part of this franchise and seeing kind of the pull of Indiana Jones? Because it's not one of those franchises that's been every sort of 2-3 years. It's kind of taken its time and come back when people have had the appetite for it. Can you now, being in one, can you see just why it's so special to so many people?
I can definitely see why, because it's great. But how? That's a tricky question. What was it that made it so great? And if we knew that, everybody would try to copy it, or we would be billionaires, all of us. But it's a combination, obviously, of Lucas and Spielberg, and most importantly, I do believe Harrison. I mean, it just brings something intuitive to it with a certain charm that very few people can do.
Yeah, and working with Harrison, I mean, he's like one of the biggest movie stars of all time, and now he's still going. I think he's nearly 80 now, and he's still throwing himself to all of these. What kind of lessons did you learn from him, or what kind of conversations did you have with him on the set? Was there any kind of wisdom that he imbued on you?
No, he doesn't throw around with wisdom. I think it's just watch him. Just watch him, as you say. He's throwing himself out there as an 80-year-old, do stunts, going on his bicycle after we wrap shooting. And most importantly, the joy in his eyes of coming to set and do this job. This is a super privileged job, right? And sometimes we tend to forget it, but he doesn't. He keeps us on the toe that this is special. We're so lucky to be part of this world. So you can see that he just becomes a kid every time he joins the set.
Yeah. You've played a few villains. I know you spoke about that before. Is there any of those that you would like to revisit, and kind of if you could go back and watch yourself playing that character again? Is there any of those?
Well, most of them are dead. Right?
Well, of course, in an alternate reality.
And the one that's not, who's still around, and I would like to come back and visit, is obviously the TV show Hannibal. That we left it hanging there. We would like to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that show, so I'm waiting desperately for you guys to come back. And also, your Volo is one of those kind of atypical villains where he believes what he's doing is right. He believes that this is going to change the world, and what he's doing is going to kind of change the world. Is it still interesting to play villains? I know you've played quite a few, but everyone you seem to do always seems to be different, and you get to play.
That's
different
exactly
melodies.
that. I mean, there will be some crossing of them, of course, because they often have a project. But yeah, Indiana Jones is a very different world than James Bond. It's a different universe, right? So there's that, and then you'll find little details so you can make them go a little different turn here and there. It is still interesting, and it's and in this case, yeah, Nazis don't belong anywhere in the world except for in an Indiana Jones film. So
that's true.
So I'm happy to be that.
Yeah. Just finally, I did want to ask you, obviously you were in the first of Daniel's James Bonds in Casino Royale, which is my favourite James Bond film, and now obviously he's finished and all that kind of stuff. What did you make of his farewell and the ending of that film? Because it's quite a brave ending to do what they did in the
Gotta be honest,
final
I
film.
haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I will, I promise you, right after we wrap up.
I'm so glad I said what I said then.
But I knew that. My son told me.
My
son told me. Yeah. I guess there's mixed emotions about that, but I also think it's a brave idea. I mean, I'm sure they didn't do it lighthearted. They meant what they meant, and they probably discussed it for months, right? So that's a choice.
Yeah. I did love you as Le Chiffre. I thought that's such a fantastic
really,
performance, I have to say. Thank you so much for your time. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!